Namaste students, welcome to social science class. The purpose of the story is to introduce some of the basic concepts. As we have got the introduction about the story of village Palampur, let's discuss the lesson thoroughly. Okay, the purpose of the story village Palampur is to introduce some basic concepts relating to production, and this we do through a story of hypothetical village called Palampur. Already we have discussed what is meant by hypothetical village. Hypothetical in the sense which is not really exist. Yes, the village Palampur is not really exist. It is an imaginary village. Let's get into the village Palampur. Farming is the main activity in Palampur, whereas several other activities such as small scale manufacturing, dairy farming, transport, etc. are carried out in a limited scale. These production activities need various types of resources like natural resources, man-made items, human effort, money, etc. As we read through the story of Palampur, we will learn how various resources combine to produce the desired goods and services in the village. So already we have discussed that village Palampur is not an really existed village. It is an imaginary village. Okay, let's have a look over there. Palampur is well connected with neighboring villages and towns. Raiganj, a big village, is 3 kilometers from Palampur. An all-weather road connects the village to Raiganj and further on to the nearest small town of Shahpur. What is meant by these all-weather roads? All-weather roads are the roads which we can call as Pakka roads. So, Pakka roads are used, it can be used by people throughout the year in all kind of seasons, right? So, many kinds of transport are visible on this road, starting from bullock carts, tangas, bogies loaded with jaggery and other commodities to the cities or towns. And we can see motor vehicles like motorcycles, jeeps, tractors and trucks are plying over there. Okay. Now, this village has about 450 families. In this village, there are 450 families belonging to different castes. The 80 upper caste families own the majority of the land in the village. It means there are 80 upper caste families in village Palampur, and most of the property or most of the land in village Palampur is owned by this particular 80 upper class families, and the other low class people, they comprise 1/3 of the population and live in one corner of the village. And if we take the houses of these two upper houses, the upper class people houses are made with bricks, cement plastering, and it will be quite large. But the houses of SCs or Dalits, it will be small huts which can be made up of only mud and straw. And then come to the other features of Palampur. Most of the houses have electric connections. In Palampur, most of the houses has electric connections. Electricity, it plays a major role in Palampur, which we are going to discuss later. Okay, electricity powers all the tube wells in the fields and is used in various types of small business. Palampur has 2 primary schools and 1 high school. There is a primary health center run by the government and 1 private dispensary where the Sikhs are treated. Okay, description what we have discussed now. Through that we can understand that Palampur has a fairly equipped or well developed system of roads, transport, electricity, irrigation, schools and health center. So compare these facilities with those in your nearby village. You may have visited many of villages, or maybe you are living in the village. Okay, you just do compare with these facilities with your villages. Okay, and now the story of Palampur, which is an imaginary village, will take us through a different type of production activities in the village. In village across India, farming is the main production activity, right? So we have taken in the village Palampur also The main activity is, what is it main activity? Farming is the main activity. The other production activities referred to as non-farming activities. The other activities which you have discussed earlier, it was known as non-farm activities, which includes small manufacturing, transport, shopkeeping, etc. We shall take a look at both these types of activities after learning few general things about production. Let's learn about production. What is meant by production? First we have to understand what is meant by production. Production is nothing but producing the goods and services which we want, right? What is the aim of production? The aim of production is to produce the goods and services that we want. There are 4 requirements for the production of goods and services. So we need 4 factors to produce any good and services. Let's discuss all those factors one by one. Okay. The first requirement is land. What is the first requirement? The first requirement is land, and the other one is labor. The third one is physical capital, and the fourth is human capital. Let's discuss all the factors one by one. What is the first requirement? Yes, it is land. I repeat, it is land. Land, it comprises or it includes the forest, the natural resources like water, forest, animals, everything. So why we need land? Whatever production activity that we are going to establish or we are going to take, everything will be done on land. So it will be the primary purpose or primary necessary good or necessary requirement for each and every production activity. So we can take it as the first requirement of production. Let's move to the second requirement of labor. Second requirement of production. The second requirement is labor. What is meant by labor? Labor is nothing but the people, those who will to do the work. Some production activities require highly educated workers to perform the necessary tasks, and other activities require workers who can do manual work. So each worker is providing the labor necessary for the production. So here we have divided the workers into 2 types. Workers, those who have education or skill, and other group of workers, those who don't have any kind of skill. So here who are skilled workers, in the sense most probably the highly educated workers, those who have training in a particular thing, like using of machineries or using of any other production activities. Okay. In other hand, some activities which requires only manual power. So these are all the 2 categories of laborers. Okay. Next, come to the third requirement, which is known as physical capital. What is meant by physical capital? Capital is the thing which includes all the activities. Without these capital, we can't run any kind of production activities. For example, now we have purchased one particular area of land. On that we have hired some labor. Is it enough to produce goods? No. We have to establish some buildings. After that we have to implement some machineries. Then laborers are going to work on those machineries. So before the work is going to start, we need some capital in the sense the infrastructure, right? So this building, tools, everything will be come under capital. But in this capital also there are 2 different types. One is fixed capital and the other one is working capital. What is meant by this fixed capital? Fixed capital which is fixed for many years. For example, tools, machineries, buildings, everything will be fixed for one particular year and we keep on using those things. We won't change it often, right? So this will be known as fixed capital. And after that we has to purchase number of things. For example, if we want to build a building, we need money, right? If we want to pay salaries to the laborers, we need money. If we want to purchase raw materials, then also we need money. So the money which we have in our hand, we in the sense, the people, those who are establishing the production activities, those who are having money, that is known as working capital. Understood? Then there is a fourth requirement too. There is a fourth requirement too. Fourth requirement is, for why we need this fourth requirement? Fourth requirement is to put all these land, labor and physical capital together. There is one person needed to put all these three factors of production to put together and start working over there. So that particular person or that particular capital is known as human capital. In other words, it is also called as enterprise. Okay, every production is organized by combining land, labor, physical capital and human capital, which are known as factors of production. So the combination of all these three will be done by one particular person who is known as the entrepreneur, and his leadership or his activities will come under entrepreneurship. Okay, as we go through the story of Palampur, we will learn more about the first three factors of production, and for convenience we will refer the first physical capital. We'll first learn how these four things has been taken in. Let's discuss about the farming in the village Palampur. Farming is the most important activity in Palampur. Almost 75% of working population is involved in farming activity. The story of village Palampur is incomplete without the farming activities. So why? Because most of the people, almost 75% of the working population is involved in farming activities. So farming is the main source of their income. Yes. So one important notice in the village is that for a long time there has been an increase in the land area which is under cultivation. Many wastelands were converted to cultivable land, but there exists no further scope to increase this land under cultivation. It means, so from many years they are keep on increasing the land for cultivation, because as the people are more and more depending on agriculture, it is must to increase the land for cultivation. So how they are increasing the land for cultivation? In the sense, they are bringing all the waste land under cultivations. Now there is no waste land is remaining to bring under the cultivation. Getting it? So after that, now we understood that no land is idle in Palampur. During winter season, Rabi season, people grow wheat and sugarcane, while during Kharif season, people grow bajra and jowar. Between the months of October and December, people cultivate potatoes. The main reason as to why farmers are able to grow multiple crops throughout the year. So what we discussed, the description what I gave, during winter season or Rabi season, people grow wheat and sugarcane, because now they have started to grow more crops. So before this, they used to cultivate only one crop per year. They used to cultivate only one crop per year. But when the land was fixed, we also know that land is fixed. Now there is no idle land to bring into cultivation. Now people of Palampur, they have started to cultivate more and more crops on the same land. So through this, now they have made attempts to get more and more income. Are you able to follow? Yes. After this, how and why this particular change has been made possible? How it made possible? Is it very easy to change the pattern of cultivation in a very short time? No, because it requires many things, but it was possible in Palampur. How it was possible? In the sense, due to the availability of electricity. Before that itself, in the starting part of the lesson itself, we discussed electricity was well developed in Palampur. Electricity was well developed in Palampur, so that due to the availability of electricity in village, the irrigation system has been vastly improved. Now they are not at all depending only on the rain for irrigation. Now they have their own tube wells. So because now they have improved in agricultural field, now they are not depending on government for implementing of tube wells. Now what they are doing, now they are setting up their own tube wells in their own lands. So now irrigation system has been vastly improved. Okay, now as the irrigation system has been done, the particular land which that cultivators have, they have started to improve those lands. And how the land is improving, in the sense they are using fertilizers to improve the fertility of that particular land. Okay, then due to multiple cropping, farmers are able to grow more than one crops per year. So what is meant by multiple cropping? Multiple cropping in a sense growing more than one crop per year. So through this what happened, their level of income also increasing. Now all the farmers in the village grow at least 2 crops using the same land every year. Then initially tube wells were introduced by the government, but now people have been setting up their own tube wells because their earning has become more. Then modern farming methods have contributed to a larger yield of crops. What made them to earn more and more things, more and more income? So that is because the land is fixed, and when the land is fixed, they can't increase the land, but instead of increasing the land, now they are going for other method, that modernizing the cultivation. So how they are modernizing the cultivation, in a sense, now they are started to grow more crops per year. So how these more crops is yielding? By using modern methods. Modern methods includes using of HYV seeds, along with that using of machineries in cultivating, along with that using of pesticides and fertilizers. So how it made possible, and how the people of Palampur, they have started to work and they started to earn more and more, that will be discussed in next class. So let's stop by today. I hope you all understood this very well. Okay, thank you students. I'll meet you in the next class. Thank you.